something definitely ain't right there, I'll tell you what, because that's it's only running when it's on full choke. That's a big red flag for me. Means that something in the carburation, brand new out of the box, the carburation, something's plugging something. It ain't getting enough gas. Ain't got no gas in it. But that's a little disappointing to say the least. For a brand new, out of the box engine. That makes me want to take another one out of the box. I removed the carburetor off here just because I needed to get to access to the, throttle control stuff and see what's going on there, because I am going to do a conversion on to an Eaton four-wheeler that has a two-stroke. But it's got to run better than that, for sure. And we'll figure out how to hook the throttle up to this guy. Because we got to have a return spring. I want to have a decent return spring. I want to have a throttle spring. I want to make it so it works. Interesting. And very disappointing. Brand new out of the box. Yes, I put oil in it. Yes, I put gas in it. I didn't fill the gas tank up, but obviously there's enough gas getting there to make it run. We'll turn the gas off. But yeah, when the choke's on, it runs. I'll show you. Choke off, no run. Okay, we're going to open up another one and see if we have the same issue. I took a lot of pulls to get that one started too. And for a brand new motor, shouldn't be. And those of you that are going to argue motor versus engine, you can go pound sand. I call it a motor. I call it the engine. I'll call it what I want. Let's see what this one does. Boss checking on me, making sure I do it right? You know what the first thing she asked me was? You put oil in it? I said, yes ma'am, I did. She knows what you're supposed to do.
What kind of gas?
Huh?
What kind of gas?
Unleaded, regular gas, no alcohol. Now this particular engine says right on there 10% maximum, no E85. So we adhered to that. You guys might be thinking this is a weird way to put oil into it, but when it's on the machine and it's hard to get at certain things and get a funnel in place, this works pretty good. And the fact that it only takes about a half a quart or less to fill these up. Gas is in the on position. Choke is in the start position. Throttle is in the, let's run it there position. Flip the switch on. How many pulls on this one? The other one took like 15, 18 pulls. Maybe not quite that many, but tell me something ain't wrong with that other one. Something wrong with that carburetor on that one. Right out of the box. Right out of the box. Warmed up a little bit. You want to try starting it? I think you should try it once. See how good you do it. If you can do it, the grandkids can do it. I think just purring. Purring like a kitten. Gas off, I'm gonna run the carburetor dry. Out of fuel. All right. I'm gonna write on this one that says good. You know what? This one is definitely made in a different factory or a different time. This has got a nice rubber handle, not a hard plastic one. And that's about the only difference, really. They should be all identical. Decaling is the same. Definitely can tell the difference in the packaging. Wasn't produced in the same area, factory, or something. I like the gas cap on the other ones better. It's a heavy, heavy gas cap. This one's a little more of the traditional, lighter weight one. At least this one was shipped with the fuel valve off. The other one was shipped with the fuel valve on. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on now. It takes, several minutes to fill that carburetor bowl up. I mean seconds. Choke is this way. Nope, start. The choke was already on. All right, folks, place your bets. Motor number 3, the boss says possibly 2 pulls. Switch is on. I like this rubber handle better. This one's much better. What? I'm going to throw the key out of it. It's probably going to hit me in the head. Probably not. Ready? Oh, I didn't pull it quite as hard as I should have. That throttle was set to kill. Now, I didn't take much off on here either, so it isn't like I completely... The gasket's still there. I'll turn this back to the off position so I can get this back on. Who knows? Maybe what was in there sticking or clogging had enough time to soak in some fuel and heal itself. I had to route this stupid little hose right through the air cleaner. Okay, we got this one back together the way it was from the factory. Only thing I have left in the container is a couple of keys. All right. Throttle about half. Choke is on start. Fuel is on. Let's see what it does this go round. What? Okay, I had a duh moment. And I'm not afraid to share it with you folks because you trust me not to steer you wrong. I have a feeling what was happening. I do know what happened. Now this whole carburetor stack up here. Here again, I can go ahead and take this back off because I'm going to take it off to get the, a throttle cable and stuff hooked up anyway. And I can put it back on, obviously. That whole bolt assembly, you guys are probably screaming at me. Yeah, that whole stack of bolts holds the carburetor upper tight against the head. That's why I was getting extra air. That's why it needed run on choke. I guarantee if I put a stack of something here and tighten those nuts up, it'll work. Well, I'm glad I caught that before I took it back and embarrassed myself. I know you guys are probably already knew it before I realized it, but some days I'm a slower learner than others. Now we'll just tighten that up. So the carburetor is sealed off against the head. We'll just run straight pipe it. The choke open, throttle about halfway. On. That's all it was. There, I turned the switch off so I don't run the battery down. Okay, now we know there's a fly right there. Can I get him? Oh, dead boy. Now we know all the players we got. We know they all run. And sorry about that little drama in the beginning, but if we ain't learning together, we ain't learning at all, right? If we're not learning together, we ain't learning together. If we're not learning together, we're not learning at all. All right. Now I got to get back to my job at hand. I just wanted to test that out before I got rid of the boxing because I don't need that any longer. Sweet. Oh no. I left that one on. Probably burnt the coil up because the battery's giving, nope, not on these. All right, we'll be back when I've got a four-wheeler setting up over here on the operating table and get the Predator swap underway. Look at the old KO headlight in the dark and see what it, how many miles you got on it, B?
I got 36 miles.
36 miles on this thing. First day of owning it, 36 miles in my backyard. We'll get some better daylight light. That's got a pretty good headlight on it, don't it?
Oh yeah.
There you go. Firing up, running good. Oh yeah, you can see where you're going. Go ahead and take her down across the yard. I know you guys can't see too much right now. We'll look at the bike, the quad in the daylight. We did have a problem with it starting the other night. last night. We took it back to the dealer today. All warranty, of course. Turned out the fuel injector was plugged and it wouldn't let any gas go through. He had one in stock. We replaced it. We brought it back here. He rode it there a little bit. Brought it back here. He's put 36 miles on it since it's been here, and it's been running great. So hopefully that's the last bit of issue I have with it. But it's we'll see it tomorrow in the daylight. It's gotten pretty dirty. Alrighty, folks. It's the very next morning after I just showed you the video last night on this KO 125 Bull. Here it is in the daylight. Let's see how many miles he's got on it now. 41.5 miles. It had 38 miles on it last night when we went to bed. So let's just give a quick walk around here. As you can see, it's been through some dirt, some mud, some fresh cut grass. Him and I raced a little bit last night. I'll tell you what, the guys over at Kelly's in Iowa City have been really good to work with. They stand behind what they sell. We had that little problem with the fuel injector, and now it's been running fine. 41.5 miles, hasn't missed a beat. And that thing sips the gas. Cool part about it, I bought this brand new. It comes with a 6-month warranty, parts and labor. Be cool if it was longer, but you know, it is what it is. This thing lasts 6 months, doing what it's doing, it's going to last a while. But she's a mean little machine. Cool little set of headlights, brake lights, tail lights. Comes DOT DNR registered, so we'll be able to ride this thing on the road if we need to for any reason, for short distances. This thing, to be honest with you, will never leave our backyard unless we take it out somewhere to take him trail riding somewhere else. But yeah, so far it's been a beast. And yesterday, 38 miles he rode. We filled up the tank after we got it. It came with about a half a tank. We topped it off. After we took it back over there, they got it running. We've been back here. Wouldn't have had to put gas in it at all yesterday. It was down just below, about that far below the fuel pump, top of the fuel pump, because it's an EFI, electronic fuel injection. It had, it's got a fuel pump, fuel injector, the whole 9 yards. And the thing just sips the gas. I'm guessing well over 30 miles a gallon. They actually told me I got waiting for it to hit 100 miles or 3 tanks of fuel. That's kind of what the guideline he gives us before we do our first oil change on it. And it's a mineral oil. It's in my truck. We'll talk about that in part 2. Right now, this is part 1. And part 1 is involving the engine swap. These Eatons you saw in the video, we've been tearing them apart. They are completely gutted down to the frame. I got the plastics out in the shed. We've got some, swing over here, got some new chain for it. We got our engines. I got the clutch kit coming from Amazon. We'll see how those work out. And a couple other parts. We want to get these things engine swaps with some Harbor Freight Predator 212s. I got 1-2 there, 1 on the bench. It's going to be interesting. So, yeah, we started off just thinking that we could salvage the transmission out of these things. But this transmission is a 13-to-1 ratio transmission, I think is what we've determined yesterday. And that's cut way down. And that's simply because it's a high revving 2-stroke engine. that's in these little 50 cc's that were in here. We're going to 212 cc's, gonna have a little more torque and all that fun stuff. Now we're gonna jump right back down into this. Sorry to be jumping around, but I had a thought cross my mind. Plus, I just lost the sound on my mic for some reason while I was editing, so I thought I'd come back out here, grab a little more footage. But as you can see, these things are completely gutted. The plan was originally to use the transmission, like I said, but that wasn't going to work out very well. Plus, this gives me a whole lot of space to do whatever I want. In part two, I'm hoping to discover, a really good, smooth method to get these things all updated and converted to a 4-stroke Predator motor, and we'll go forward from there. All right, so with that all being said, my grandson here, Braylon, he just told me he's now cracked 50 miles on that KO 4-wheeler. Unbelievable. That's going to keep him entertained and occupied. We got parts showing up next week. Hopefully I can start working on these some more. I don't think I'm going to have them done before the 4th of July. Just too much stuff to do between now and then. We're going to be able to move forward on these. I got other projects I got to work on. There again, once we get to part two, I guarantee you we will have oil change recorded on the KO by that time and move forward from there. So, other thing I want to talk about on Kelly Sports is those guys did a really fantastic job of taking care of us yesterday. They were willing to take a part off another 4-wheeler, and if they had to keep me running. A lot of dealerships won't go cannibalize some of their inventory or stock, excuse me, to keep you on the road. These guys are willing to do that. That just tells me what kind of customer service that they're willing to do and what they're willing to do for you, which is very important to me as a customer. Like I said, they took care of us yesterday. They said, and it was funny because I kind of jinxed it when we bought it the day before. As I said, I don't take this the wrong way, gentlemen, but I hope I don't see you for a long time. It was the plan. Well, less than 24 hours, I'm back in their store. And they also saw me pulling in with it, and they were like, oh no, what happened? So, and I said, it won't run. But there again, we turned it over to the point where the battery was starting to slow down. I took the battery out, put it back on my Noco Genius, charged it up. We had spark. We had fuel. I could hear the fuel pump pumping up. He went through his little system yesterday of pulling the fuel line off, made sure the fuel pump was pumping fuel, which it did. It did a great job of that. And he discovered the same thing I discovered, spark, no fuel getting to the spark plug. He put a new fuel injector in it. Boom, it ran. The tanks that come on these things, he says they're not lined with anything. They're not protected, so they have some kind of like possible cosmoline type residue inside, and they like to actually fill them up with gas about halfway, run them quite a bit, kind of get that sloshed around, thinned out as it were, so hopefully it comes through the system. We have a feeling that they didn't get a chance to do that as much on this particular one, and we have a feeling something got in there on the fuel injector and plugged it. Those orifices on the fuel injector are very small, very tiny. It wouldn't take much to plug it. Or maybe the electronic part of it just failed. He has a fuel injecting testing thing. He was going to test it to see if it actually failed. He's still going to warranty it, send it back to KO and get another one. But he had the foresight to have one on hand. If he didn't have that one on hand, he would have cannibalized, because he's actually done it for another buddy of mine, K6 Outdoors, that you guys might watch. He got a KO as well, just like this one. Had an issue with the stator, went out immediately for some reason. An odd thing. Very rarely does that happen. But what happened, the stator went out. He went and pulled the stator off a brand new one off the showroom floor and stuck it in his 4-wheeler to get him up and going again. That's the kind of surface you can expect from Kelly's in Iowa City on their motorsport stuff. So don't be afraid to go to those folks. Yes, Kyle had a little bit of trouble. I had a little trouble, but come on. Things like that happen. There's going to be 100 other people that don't have a single trouble. And it's the craziest thing, because he goes, this is the first I've ever seen this. And then the same thing that happened to Kyle. This is the first I've ever seen this. And Kyle and I just happen to be influencers on YouTube, and we just happen to have that happen to us. Dumb luck? Probably. But there again, the gentleman there that owns the shop and the other guy that was there working with him, I can't remember their names. I apologize for that off the top of my head. Great guys, very personable, more than willing to help you out. I will definitely go back there again for other service and or four-wheelers in the future, just because they do such a fantastic job. So I can't say enough good things about those guys. They did not sponsor this video. I paid good money, my own money, for that four-wheeler. But you're going to see it coming up in more videos here in the future, as well as time progresses. The way he's riding that thing, we haven't even had this thing running for 24 hours, and he's already put over 50 miles on it. If there again, the odometer is accurate or whatnot. Odometer is a good tracker to keep track of how often you change the oil. Like on your lawnmower, a lot of those have an hour meter, so you change the oil every 50 hours. This thing here, we're going to change the oil every 100 miles, most likely, because, well, this has still got the original oil in it, and it is a mineral oil. In the next video, when I change the oil, I'll show you that stuff when we get down to it. Pretty straightforward stuff, though. Drain it, fill it, send it. We'll put some lube on the chain and keep it going. Now, my grandson was bugging me about power washing. He goes, Grandpa, can we clean this? Can we power wash this up and clean it? I'm like, no, just keep riding it. Power washing has its place. The problem with power washing, if you do it too much, this is going to be just, I'm going to have to say, I don't know how to say this and protect myself from people just lighting me up in the comments. You drive a lot of product deeper into problem areas that you can cause premature failures as a result of power washing. Now, power washing, if I power wash something, I'm also not focusing it in on joints, bearing areas, and stuff like that. I'm trying to knock the external scum off of things. He's fired up and running again. Let's go out there and sneak up on him and see, not sneak up on him, but let's just see how it's going. So you guys can see this thing ripping in the daylight. We got a few trails back there. We got a couple little racetrack type things laid out back there. I can hear it. It's a mean sounding little four banger. It's a 4-stroke, 125cc 4-stroke. He's got the headlights on. I can see the headlights. Can you guys see it on the camera? Oh. There he comes, right over the hill there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Rip it. I don't know what you want to call a proper break-in. I asked the guy, I said, how should we break this in? He goes, well, don't just hold it at full throttle for extended amounts of time. Just do your normal riding, don't idle it too much. Don't go wide open too much. This is about the right amount of area here to just low, medium. I mean, this thing's just, it's broke in. 50 miles. It is what it is. And that's all there is to it. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed this part of the video. I'm excited to get to the Predator swap portion of the whole premise of this video. I think it's gonna be fun. I love messing around with small engine stuff, making something out of nothing. I had those two Etons. Don't feel bad for those things. The one red one that we took apart, I've had that for 14 years. It spent 10 years of its life here on this property. I bought it used for $400. That same grandson and several other grandchildren have ridden that. Every time they're here, they're riding it. Just to give you an example, he's been 24 hours. He's put 50 miles on that thing. I've had grandkids here for weeks at a time riding these other four-wheelers. So I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of miles these little Etons had on them before they finally were just electronic nightmare that I can't get running. Problem I learned from Kelly, that's another thing he was sharing with me. These Etons, you can't find them anymore. I mean, I shouldn't say you can't find them anymore. Of this generation of when I bought these, you could go on the Amazon and try to find some of the electronic pieces, and they say they fit, and they do not. They plug in like they fit, but they will, all of a sudden, the fuse will just pop as soon as you turn it on. They're not wired the same. Things change. So it was time. There was time to cut all this wiring off of it, get it off, and go back to basics. Just an engine that's self-contained that just turn the switch on, pull the thing, and it runs. You give it the throttle, it puts the power to the wheels, and you go. That's what we're after. All right, folks. This is Michael saying once again, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. And we'll see you on the next video if I'm lucky. Be good to one another out there. Treat each other with kindness, please. I see so many things and so much sensationalism built on people fighting, people doing this, you know, trying to get views. It's like, come on, enough. Just be good to one another. And let's all take the higher ground every now and then, all right? I'm out.